Someone once told me that we don't grow when we're comfortable. We grow by making ourselves uncomfortable, through the grit and the determination we find the will to win. For us, veterans, first responders, what is the most uncomfortable thing imaginable? Talking. Well, that's what we're here to do. Welcome to Real Talk Mondays, where veterans and first responders come together to share their knowledge to build a stronger community, one real conversation at a time.
What's up?
Hey, welcome back to Real Talk Mondays. You got Nate and Logan here, and below, if you're looking, he's down here, is Lance.
You know what's funny is you're doing that shit, and I'm actually next to you, Lance.
Listen, Lancelot.
The Lance-a-palooza has begun.
Yeah,
Logan, go like this. You're below me and Nate. No, higher hands. Now spread them just a little bit. A little more. Oh, right there.
Dude, I love it. Man, what's up? How's everybody doing?
I'm doing great, man. Just
doing all right, man.
Itching. Fucking itching, guys. Yeah, man.
Dude, you're like what?
2
How
weeks.
many days?
2 weeks.
How many days? Like, I know you got the days down too.
Actually, I don't.
No?
15 days, right? This is the 16th. Season opens the 2nd.
Yeah,
So,
16.
Yeah.
There it is. You
I'm
ready?
itching. You know what? I'm to be honest with you, with the shit show that has been last year and the shit show that's continuing, and now our heads are spinning even more. Dude, I'm more ready to be on the mountain just for the fucking solitude and peace of mind, more than chase elk right now. To be honest, I mean that's a sounds weird for me to say that, but man, just to disconnect and know, you know what I mean? Just
That's part of it though, man. You know what I mean?
I need the mountain download bad.
So before we get too far into it, why don't you give us the Western contours? Give us your little background. Tell us about you. Do that whole thing, man.
I hate when I have to do that because I asked that question and I'm a shit show with it. Man, what do I say? Fuck, just a dude.
Just a guy with some pants.
Yeah. So, well, actually, I'm not even wearing pants right now.
Oh.
I just honestly just put on a shirt. It's freaking hot as hell here in this garage.
Shirt and some hairy pants. That's what's up.
That's it, man. That's it. Manscaped hairy pants.
Manscaped hairy. Yeah. You gotta stay cool somehow, right?
You gotta let that go wild, man. Put some braids in it or something.
Or them cornrows. No, Guy Duplanche, run Western Contours podcast, my podcast. Man, hunter, advocate for hunting, father, husband. That's it, man. Shit shower. That's hard to intro yourself, huh?
Dude, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll send bullets out, right? I just send bullets. I don't send a scripted episode or whatever. And I always put that on there because to me, it's a lot easier to explain things like hunting or why I hunt than it is to just intro myself. I don't know.
Well, because in my opinion, you're a pretty humble dude. And so it's kind of weird to talk about ourselves and
strange.
I don't know, not blow ourselves up, but just talk about yourself a little bit. But yeah, this guy with Western Contours, we got Nate, and everybody's named Lance this episode except for me because nobody gets.
Because you weren't a Lance to begin with.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know the way he was reaching up. We got to get something with the reach up in Lance.
He's more of a Stefan with a PH.
Stefan. Oh man, guy, do you remember when where were we? Snow Basin.
Okay.
The dude who was test driving hats.
Oh, Brent.
Yeah.
I saw him.
Brent.
I saw him with his flamingo shirt. I didn't realize that he was test driving shit. So you guys told me, but when he walked by, I was like, that's the oddest motherfucker walking around. You're like, what is this guy doing? And I just figured he was one of the Sunday brunchers, going up the lift for brunch.
That's probably what he was doing.
He just rolled up there, was test driving hats.
From Muley Freak, just put on a couple of them.
And just walked off. And I'm like, oh, this dude pay for his hat. And then he came rolling back and set it on the counter on their table and grabbed another hat. And I'm like, this guy's test driving hats. Like, we can do that.
Can I take this outside for better lighting?
Right.
With that shirt that was on, like,
Dude.
hell, bro.
Miami Vice in Utah.
Hell was that? I didn't even know that was Miami Vice.
Rocking his Crocs with it too. Like, oh, come on, man.
And they were in
He
sport
was-
mode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
they
was
were.
like every hipster fashion thing that there could be going on, like
And it
every
was just wrong.
up to date trend.
Yeah.
Yo, he came by our booth and like we had a Muley Freak because we have our giveaway going on with Muley Freak, and we had one of their hats sitting there. And dude, he's walking, he's cruising, and then all of a sudden she's like,
He's like, oh,
Right.
you guys got hats?
and we're like, no,
No,
no, we don't.
This is for a raffle. Like, don't touch
He
it.
like grabbed it, man, picked it up, and like, yeah, and went to like, I'm like, no, man, that's for a raffle for cops and veterans. He's like, oh, and put it down and walked off. Like,
I
outta here,
don't,
dude.
I don't
That was
think
strange.
Brent even noticed the four of us that were standing there ready to.
Pouncing.
you're
Yeah.
not gonna test drive our
Like,
shit.
You're not test driving
Trip,
that hat,
man.
man. Get out of here. Take your
Ooh.
Eagle cooler and get out.
Yeah, it's outside on display. It's free.
The weirdest thing ever.
So
So
trip.
we said it before we hit the go button. This is gonna
This is gonna be a shit show, man. I
First,
don't even know.
before we even start, we got to recognize that Team Lance came in third place
yeah.
that was
in the cornhole
no,
tournament.
you can't
Yeah.
do that, man.
And that was
all
pure-
you, bro. That was
That
all
was purely
you.
by happenstance.
Yo,
I
we just
sucked
like-
that day. I sucked on that one.
we just recorded a show with Armando, and we gave him hell for the
I saw
world's
that little-
fastest.
that
Yeah,
little
that trailer, man. You know, fastest loss, and you know they hold two records.
Worst and fastest loss
In two
Ever.
states.
in 2 states.
He's a multi-state loser.
Yeah, it was terrible.
it was so bad.
What was it, like 5 minutes or some crap, huh?
Dude, I got to the end of the boards, right? Because he was on board number 1. I got to the end, came back around. He's like, we're done.
Yeah.
What was there? There was 7?
No, there
7
were
rows?
four
No,
boards, 4 sets of boards,
Yeah.
and they were on the second set.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm like,
And like,
What just
get
happened?
down to one end, like
Got
checking on
smashed.
everybody, like, hey, you guys all right? Cool, we get back. How are we? We lost. Like, you just started. How,
How
did you
how
manage
do you
this?
lose that fast?
he said
Magic.
everything that they threw went in, and everything that he threw didn't.
So they was like 3-pointers, or you know what I mean? Like, how the hell do you do that?
He must have been playing the professional team that came in.
Oh,
Yeah, they were
Jesus.
sponsored.
Dude, you know what? Math was great, but there was some fucking characters outside of Lancapalooza. There were some fucking characters, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know people took cornhole so seriously.
Have you not watched the Ocho?
So I did this week, right? Had a little bit of downtime in Florida, and I clicked it on, and they all had like freaking jerseys on.
Yeah,
and
man,
like,
they're sponsored by like Johnsonville Brats and
Yeah.
everybody else.
I still don't know. How,
Cornhole's big business.
Dude, until Purgatory, I have never picked up a corn bag ever.
is that even the right name?
Wasn't that why they call it cornhole?
Fuck if I know.
Why do they call it?
It probably was started.
Are you about to Google this shit?
You know I'm gonna Google it. I mean, they would be bean hole if it was like bean bags, wouldn't it? I'm assuming that because there's corn in the bags. I actually
It would be
heard
corn
someone say
bags.
that.
Well, I mean, I was thinking that it got started in prison.
Look, I put why is corn home?
Oh,
How do you even ask that question? Why is cornhole called cornhole?
Oh man, I don't even want to know. Don't.
I'm scared. You know what? I shouldn't even Google this shit because it's algorithm or whatever the hell
Yeah,
that is.
you're gonna get some weird ads on
I'll-
on Instagram popping up and Facebook.
Cornhole
next-
is a word with an R-rated connotation
No shit.
because the object.
What
is
did I just
thrown-
say?
Oh, here we go. But it's also the easiest literal way to explain the game. Why is it called cornhole? Because the object is thrown a
Into the
corn
hole?
kernel filled bag. See, it is. I was right.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Here we
Hey,
are,
man,
Real
get
Talk
up- get
Monday,
up on
just
your-
dropping knowledge.
Get up on your corn game shit.
Like, wasn't it your guys' tournament?
Yeah, but you don't have to know what it is to play. Nobody's a professional.
I tell you what, somebody
Clearly.
says you want to play cornhole, you better be goddamn right. I'm gonna know what it is before I play. Look at he said, I don't care.
Nah,
Man,
send
you-
it.
You got to be adventurous sometimes.
Well,
Yeah.
one of these, arms up.
There you go. Ooh. Hey, Nate, every time he does it, we gotta go.
Oh, this episode is not for children.
No.
Is that what
man,
you
it's-
planned?
No.
Holy
It's
crap.
nothing but trailers.
I've met both of you. Oh, dude. So, Guy, let's get into some meat and potatoes here, man. So,
Hold on one second.
Oh,
Do you
shit,
know
you-
that cornhole has been around since the 1830s?
bro, you're full of it,
No, I swear. I'm reading this shit right now.
and it
You
just now
looking
got
that
on
up
Ocho.
like, Wikipedia.
Yeah. No. Come on, man. I at least rely on Google.
Oh, okay. It's
That's
legit.
a trip.
Yeah,
No, this
well,
is Recreation Insider. But yeah. Dang, that's
1800s.
crazy. Yeah.
Did like George Washington? Well, I guess he was a little.
No, they're actually
was
saying
older
that,
than that.
a lot of the game rose to popularity in Cincinnati because a lot of German immigrants were in that area in the 1830s. Yeah, that's a trip.
You know, I was stationed with some Germans in New Mexico,
Hmm.
and those people are insane. So to name a game cornhole, it kind of fits.
I like it.
The Germans, huh? Who knew?
And
So
now you know.
1800s cornhole, they're filled with corn kernels,
Throw 'em
cornhole
in a hole.
bags.
Who would have
Yeah.
thought that he
Throw it
thought
in
it
the
was
hole.
bean bags?
That's what I thought. I just thought it was a weird, whatever. So hunting, man. I mean, it's no secret what gets you going in the woods, but I want to know why.
Oh God, dude. You know, I mean, hunting in general, right? That is where I have found the better version of me. And it's the better version of me every time I go in the woods or on the mountain and come off, whether it's a day trip, whether it's a week trip, whether it's a month-long trip. I absolutely come out with a better outlook on everything and improvements from when I went in and my previous experience to when I come out. And it's a lot of the way that I detox. Like I was saying earlier, I kind of detox everything in terms of the pursuit. It's hard as fuck, right? I don't care
Right.
what you're chasing. If it wasn't difficult to best one of those animals, I don't know that any of us would do it. You know, I don't want to say that that's the only thing there. There is a little, I mean, if I'm being honest, there is a little bit of bloodlust, I guess you could call it, for the lack of a better phrase. Like I want to go, you know, I want to go do it. I mean, I respect and appreciate everything that it offers. But there's nuances to it that I
Mhm.
can't explain within myself. And that's the best way that I could do it. I don't know if it's something primal that drives that or what. But a lot of it is just the self-growth and the improvement factor that I find. And then when you start talking about what really makes me tick over the last few years, you know, in that son of a gun right there, not that one in particular, I'd probably just pass over dead. But
Him walking out.
the social aspect of that animal has really just triggered something in me, man. Like I can't get enough. Like it's literally a September to September mission, thought, you know, preparation. I mean, it's just got me nonstop. And I don't care.
Right? Like,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like when
Love it.
something, when something grabs you that much and you just don't care. Like, you know, I'm just going, I'm just doing it. Just to be out there amongst them, man. And just, you know, it sounds cliche as all get up, right? But when we talk about like, you know, this majestic creature like that, that's not cliche or just something to say about them. It's just amazing to be amongst them and watch them, even if you're not, you know, chasing them to kill them, right? You're just amongst them, and it's just the wonderment that I find in them is just, it's absolutely phenomenal. It's the only thing that it just makes me like everything is gone. Like I'm totally carefree, like almost like kid-like, right? When you're chasing
Right.
them, it's just fucking amazing.
Clear mind.
Oh man, more than that.
You hit on something that I wrote down, the primal aspect of hunting. How come we don't talk about that aspect of hunting a little bit more as a community? Like, why are we ashamed to say we enjoy the pursuit the kill and the harvest? Like why do we leave out the kill? Like we always talk about the harvest.
Why do we have an issue with a lot of topics nowadays, right?
That's
It's
true.
not PC. If it doesn't make you feel warm and fuzzy, you're not supposed to talk about it. And the harsh reality of it is that ultimately that is the end game for us, right? But our end game, because of explanation, has become the plate,
Right?
and that has a lot to do with it. But by no silly stretch of the imagination can any of us on here, any of us anywhere, say that that's how we have to sustain life at this point, unless you're a subsistence, people living up in Alaska or some remote village. We're not hunting for subsistence, right? I mean, we are to a point, but we don't have to. I mean, we can go and fill the freezer for $3.99 for 80% lean.
Shit, you can go to Whole Foods and buy some elk if you really wanted it.
Yeah, who wants
it
the
ain't.
farm stuff anyway?
It ain't the.
I really don't want the farm stuff. It isn't the same, right? And there's something that comes along with having blood on your hands that makes you appreciate and respect not just that animal, but in my opinion, and from my chair, life in general, right?
whole
My
process.
my appreciation for life, whatever that life is 1,000-fold what it was before I started hunting. And when I look at these farm raised animals, if I'm driving Central Cal and I'm going through these massive dairy farms, my heart just is like, damn, that's not the existence that animal was meant for.
No.
Right? To just sit on this little bullshit dirt pasture
eating shit food.
Yeah. And just, getting udders plucked all day. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that, to go back to the question, I think it's just the fact that we feel like we have to have these politically correct answers. And I get it. It's appropriate to try and get that point across. And we don't want to, be off-putting. And I get that. But there are other elements to it that I think are worth conversation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't think we should shy away from the more primal portion of the hunting game. I mean, because that's what it is. It's a chase. It's a pursuit. I don't think we should shy away from it. Because I know, let's talk like the adrenaline portion of it, right? Like you go to full draw on whatever critter you're chasing and you get a good stick, right? Like that adrenaline, that euphoria is unreal. Because it's not that you're taking the life of an animal, right? It's not just that portion of it, but it's putting everything together that led up to that success. And that's just kind of like,
that's the culmination of all the hard work of everything that you've done.
Yeah.
Equipment,
dude.
training, stalking, learning, everything there is about that animal. And you finally get to that point and that everything came together and now you get to harvest.
Yep. Because you just worked your ass off.
Well, and that's the part, right, is the effort that we put to it, right? And there's guys that don't put
a lot
that much effort, right?
Yeah.
There's guys that just have it, they have Paul Medell's one of them, right? I talked to Paul and Paul says, hey man, I'm talking about shooting your bow months and months and months all year. And he's like, I pull my bow out in June or July.
Get dialed in and
right. But when you talk to him, there's other facets of it, right? Like his calling game, that's where he spends his time, right? In the behaviors of elk. So he's doing it. It's just another facet of doing it for him. But there's just, like you said, it's the culmination of all that, bringing it together, man. And then you're taking something that has hundreds of thousands of years of evolution in almost the same ecosystem, if you will, for the lack of a better word, right? We've pushed them, right? And we've killed populations. And I'm not saying hundreds have killed populations. I'm saying in general, society has killed, populations, but they have been adapting for hundreds of thousands of years. So to think that you can go in there and best these things, especially if you start talking elk, right? And you start talking about herd bulls and whatnot and what it takes, man, if it was easy as, going up to Bruno there and, just, sending that arrow from, just that stance, right? He's perfect broadside, right? Flump. There wouldn't be anything there for us.
There would be no joy in that.
Right.
Or fulfillment.
right? We
None.
wouldn't have that work that it takes. And I think that's what drives 95% of our pursuits, whoever you are.
Even just the whitetail guys too, out where I'm at. I mean, food plotting all year long, putting in their miles on their boots, scouting,
Yep.
pulling trail cameras. I think just that culmination of grit and determination is what gets you that high.
Yeah.
For I don't know of any other word, but just, you know what I mean? Just
I think part of that is that part of ourselves that we have a hard time explaining, right? Going back to the primal part of I probably shouldn't call it like a bloodlust, right? Because that sounds horribly detrimental to hunters. But when you tie it back to that, that's probably something that we don't know about, so we can't talk about. But I think there's something there, right? I mean, humans have always had hunters and gatherers, or starvers.
yeah, pretty much. You either got it done or you died.
Bad gardeners, bad hunters, right? Those were the starvers.
Yep.
But I think that's a part of it that we don't know that much about, that we can't connect with verbally, right? For most of us. I know I sure as shit can. I don't know where that is. I would love to get into that more and delve into that side of it. But there has to be something there that's connecting us to our DNA, right? Our makeup. I started reading a bunch of stuff. I don't know. Seems like it's been about 3 months ago. And they actually started researching hunters in like 1972, as far back as I could find it. And they're talking about all these, why we hunt. And a lot of it was, I found it to be semi-accurate, but nothing addressed, even in their biased ass research, none of it addressed the connection to our DNA or our ancestry and things like that, the need that, a lot of us have, because that's so deep rooted. And I started thinking about it, and I'm like, damn, my family has been hunting and fishing for generations, right? Just thinking about, where my family's from. And, me growing up, I mean, we were huge fishermen. That's all I did as a kid. And that's where I got my first taste of deer and pig, was fishing and seeing them on the lakeshore, and just totally like, wow, look at these things. Right. And somehow, and I remember those memories, and I'm talking like 7, 8 years old, right? I could remember seeing them, and there was just a trigger that was set just from seeing them. And it was just something that I just started to revolve around and maybe subconsciously more than consciously for years. And I remember my grandpa going, they would go, him and my uncle would go dove hunting every year. And then my Uncle Wayne, they'd go on a yearly elk hunt here and go up north. And I remember just, I couldn't wait for them to get back, just to hear about it, for him to tell me about it. Yeah. And I was the youngest, or excuse me, I was the oldest of all the cousins. So, I was the only one that got a taste. I'd get like, here's your one little bite of elk steak there, buddy. Because that was,
this shit's good.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But it was like, I couldn't wait for it. And then just something that was just, it was ever present. And the more that I sat after reading that stuff and reflected about it, it was just like, wow, man, it's ingrained in me. Like I had to do this, or I'd have been searching for myself forever, trying to fill that void. And man, it's a trip, man. It is absolutely part of my DNA. I don't give up.
Has to be.
It just, I think there's those of us that have it, and the rest of us grow fruit and veggies. Or starve.
I mean, or starve. Or starve. And so when you're talking about hunting and what it means to you and things like that, I know one of the big pushes that you have is the conservation of our freedom, our hunting rights and privileges. How do you bridge that gap between like the primal aspect of it, if you will, and then there's like the very political side of conservation and the various groups and things like that? So how do you relate the primal aspect to the conservation aspect?
I have to, right? In today, I hate saying that, it sounds so damn old, but the gray hairs tell the story.
Yeah, you old as shit, dude.
in this day and age, you don't have a choice, right? Nope. And 20 years ago when I started hunting, I had no idea. I was, I went into this not knowing anybody. I didn't even know that here in SoCal that I had the means to do this. Like, I just was like, man, how do I gotta figure this out. I gotta do it. How do I get into this?
I would imagine
And
the hunting population super small in Southern California.
it's not that it's terribly small, but it is very stealthy.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Just because of the political climate, right? And I've kind of stepped away from that. There was years where it was like, I wouldn't even say anything because you get tired of the opposition, right? Or you don't understand why someone doesn't get it, right? Well, you have these opportunities to go fish, or you're not bashing on fishing. Well, there are those that do that, but you're not bashing on that. Why do hunters take a bad rap? I've never seen a bad side to it, right? Even without understanding the conservation aspects of it, and the management aspects of it. Before I even understood that, I've never had an inkling of this is the wrong thing to do. If I can go to the store and I can buy turkey and beef and lamb and bison and elk, and why the hell is there an issue with me going out
and organically,
right, and getting the blood on my hands? Is that you can't stomach it? That's on you. Why do I have to hide this, right? But
you want organic. That's as organic as you're gonna get.
Right? But it's organic with blood on your hands, right? And folks don't understand that. But again, I digress, and I'll get back to what the hell you asked me. Tying them together, I don't have a choice. We don't have a choice. Now, the conservation aspect of it in terms of herd management and things like that, it's important what we do. But I think there's another facet of it that we're missing. And you look at here in Southern California, there's no forest management. Right? It's very piss poor. When you look at piss poor forest management and you look at us out here trying to sustain through hunting, it's really a battle, right? Because without the land, we can't sustain the herds anyway. So it's this double-edged sword now, where I've really wanted to focus my efforts, and my thought is preservation of our lifestyle. Right, is how do we continue this? How do you, me, and you continue this, right? And I never thought that I would have to think about it for the three of us. I always thought it was going to be something for future generations, my son, my daughter's kids, things like that, right? Diego's friends, right? How do I continue this, or make sure that this is there for them? Or how do I introduce somebody that is interested in just delving into it or learning more? But man, after last year, it was more and more like, damn, we gotta preserve this for us. Like, I don't plan on killing over tomorrow. If I have it in my control, I'll be hunting, well into my 70s, 80s. But after what we saw through 2020, it was like, man, we got to do something now for this. Yep. So it really has become, more of a push to preserve our lifestyle, right? What we love, this passion to go out and chase these animals, whatever floats your boat in the woods, right? Be a deer, if it's pigs, if it's antelope, you're crazy if you don't love elk.
Yeah, I would say so.
I don't know that there's any real good answer to how we blend the two. I think it's a bunch of different thoughts and coming together in our demographic and putting all that together. And saying, well, this is what it is. This is why we need it. Here's the challenges. And again, one of the challenges being just management of the land.
Absolutely.
It's hard because here we're up against it, right? In California, I mean, we got can't mountain lion hunt, bears limited to a single season, which they're pretty good with our bear tags. I wish we had a spring bear season. Oh, dude, I'm seeing a ton of bears. I mean, a shit ton of bears right now here.
Oh, yeah.
And oh, dude, good cub recruitment. It's phenomenal what we're seeing, but we never make our quota. Well, there's some ebb and flow when we start talking about the predator population, the protection of mountain lions, the protection of bobcats, and whether or not that stuff is accurate. And it's based on biologist decision or it's political. I won't get into that crap here, but there's so many facets of it. I don't know that there's one that there's one area at this point that we could focus on. I think we need to come to the table and we need to look at it. I mean, if you just talk in the Western states, right? States need to start coming together in terms of the hunters in that state, and those hunters in that state need to come together with hunters, you know, in other states, and really come to a table of preserving what we love. I mean,
Well,
if we don't,
I forget who recently posted something. It's been circulating on Instagram, where it's like, well, I'm a Midwest whitetail hunter. Why do I care about trail camera bans in Arizona? Well, I'm an Idaho elk hunter. Why do I care about X, Y, and Z in Tennessee? Well, because we're all one community.
Yeah,
It's
that's
time
it.
for us to like come to the same table, put aside your weapon of choice, put aside
The camo pattern.
the camo. That's what. Yep. and fight for each other and fight for this passion and fight for this community. Because if we don't, nobody else is going to.
Well, it'll slowly get chipped away, and that's the thing that I think a lot of people, with anything, they're, you know, I'm a whitetail hunter from, you know, Midwest. Well, the trail cam issue, well, it doesn't affect them because they're not out there, right?
Well, it could.
Well, it could if they get that going. What's the next thing that they're going to come after in
Bingo.
another state? How is that going to ripple effect all across
The community?
Everything.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the problem that is coming out with, we're talking about people coming after hunting and not understanding it, is the education aspect. Not only the education aspect from the community itself, but then as a society, people are not willing to listen to something that is different than a different opinion.
Nope.
Not
So
anymore.
Not anymore. They're not.
No, but that is part of the uphill fight. Is you're looking at, well, if we want to get something to change and some of these people to look at something different, how does that education or the soundness and judgment of reasoning, how can we present that to them to possibly make it more palatable for them to even want to listen or look?
We have to come together in our demographic. I mean, that's dude. So where you saw that, it was Derek Depew, Mountain Hunter Box.
That's right.
So I'm doing, you know, I got together with like 20 some odd friends, right? Companies, right? Products, blah, 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 blah. Right. And I reached out and I said, hey, I want to do this thing for Sportsman's Alliance. And I just want to drum up some funds for them. Right. It's about membership. It's about funds. It's about support. And Sportsman's Alliance, in my opinion, is one of those entities that we absolutely need, right? I believe in what they're doing. I've talked to Brian several times, and I just believe in what they're doing. Anywho, so I put together this, I don't know, fundraiser giveaway type deal, right? I don't even want to call it a fundraiser, right? It's really about raising awareness, and you donate $5 or you get a membership, and basically it's like raffle based.
Right.
But I got bow hitch, kudu point, Hoffman,
dude, everybody,
initial ascents. I just started reaching out to people and honestly, I probably could have done 50 companies, but I wanted to do it in hits. And then I didn't want it to carry into September.
I mean, let's be real here.
I'm gonna be around.
We got shit to do.
Yeah. But you know, that's where you saw that is Derek was that was his post for
that's right
for that giveaway deal for Sportsman's Alliance. And I read it and I was like, dude, that's awesome, right? Because we have that conversation. Yeah. And I had the conversation. I talked to Chris Rowe the other day, and he and I had the conversation. Listen to that podcast. You want about 3.5 hours of going off,
dude?
Check that crap out.
I'm going
Chris is badass, man. That dude, he gets me going. I love
shameless plug.
Yeah. Oh, dude. No, it wasn't shameless. Ain't no shame. Hey. Yeah, that dude is Chris is something else. But yeah, check that one out. But he and I had talked about it too. And then really that is where I think the hole in our game is, like you're saying, is coming together, right? Is having this one stance, this one voice that everybody through all the different facets of the outdoors, right? In terms of taking of animals, we have to support each other. I don't care what your method of take is. Like, Logan, you've heard me say it a billion times. Like if they told me that the only season I had to hunt was bolo season or boomerang season,
Guess what?
bro, you'll see me on the bolo range. I'm whipping some bitches out, man. You know what I
Send
mean?
it.
Like, yeah, like it doesn't
matter.
My preference is archery, but am I gonna squawk at shooting a rifle? That's a hell to the no.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
In fact, I want to go learn more about it.
That's it. It's like I just want to be out in the field ultimately and experiencing the things that bring me growth. And I want to go and get my hands bloody and put miles on the boots and be beat to all hell, whether I'm successful or not. Here's cliche. I'm successful, right? I'm walking away with something gained from that. Can I feed the family with it? Some of the most expensive meat in the world.
Yeah.
Every season. Yeah. Is it elk? No.
Not yet.
Right. But there's something to be said about us just coming together and kumbaya, whatever, right? And joining hands, if you will, and being on the same side of the fight, right? If we're drawing a line on the sand, in the sand amongst ourselves, how hard is it? Yeah, how hard is it for the opposition to come in
and just poke holes all day, man?
Yeah, death by 1,000 cuts, right? We'll say it a billion times. That's what it's going to amount to. That's what it's been amounting to. And they don't care how they do it.
No,
they don't want it done.
They just want it done. Like the dude that founded Humane Society of America, like he said it, like this is a long-term battle and we're just going to take it all out. We want it gone, period, point blank, end of story. Right. But like you said, right. Oh, you wear this camo, screw you. Or, you know, I don't know.
Get over it, people. Get over it or we're going to lose it. So it's shifting gears from this for just a second, because Real Talk Mondays, right? What we're about is helping veterans and first responders get outdoors and talk about or benefit from some of the things that you were just talking about, right? Decompression, having that challenge, having that growth. Why? Because I still have not been able to figure this part out. Why does the mountain do that to us? Why, in your opinion, or Nate, whomever, just jump in, whatever, round robin this shit. I don't care. Why does that happen when we're out there, regardless if we have a harvest or not? We come in and we're successful no matter the outcome.
Because you got to go through the suck. Right? You got to go through the suck. If you're anything you do, if there's struggle involved, if there is literally blood, sweat, and tears involved, right? And you push yourself through that, there's growth, right? You can't avoid it. And look at me, I'm preaching to the choir, right? I got two vets in front of me, right? You guys know, like you just training alone, that's kind of the goal there, right? Is to break you down and build you back up, right? Yep. And that's the mountain does it to us every single time. You look every time. you go like this, like, oh shit, did I just walk down that? That? Oh God. And you're looking at that tree that was 80 foot above your truck when you parked, and it's like you're sitting there and you're looking up the hill, you're going, squish, you know.
Like I climbed that sumbitch.
Yeah. Like I got to get back up that. And you look at it and you go, oh, well. Right. And then you know, it's like, okay, where are we based at? Oh shit. Dude, I've done that every single day. You know, it's like, man, it's 4 miles to the bottom, 4 miles back up. Right. And, you know, it's just like, you know what? I'm better out the other side of this mofo, dude, man.
Every time.
Better. Yeah.
Every time.
I think a lot of it comes down to as well, that part of it. But when you're out on the mountain hunting, chasing your preferred animal, a lot of it's you're not plugged into the now world or life that you have. You disconnected and you're back out into something that is allowing you to recenter, reground, and go back to not only away from society, but you go back to almost a different challenge, a completely different challenge where you have one goal and nobody can do it for you.
And that's all that matters. is the one goal.
You have to do what you have to do to get to that goal. And even if you fall, the main goal of harvesting, that's the main goal. Even if you fall short of getting that goal in that season, you've gotten that much closer because you put in the work
When you learn something.
to get it. So yeah, and it's even with not successful, you're learning maybe what not to do next time.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
think
yeah.
about that. I mean, it just in that alone, right? I mean, just the fact that you're already going back mentally, you're already going back. When the hunt's done, you're like, oh, okay, I know where I screwed up, or I think I did this
Mhm.
wrong. As soon as I come off the mountain, dude, I'm planning for next season.
Yeah, man.
You know what
Like
I mean?
no matter how shitty the
Yeah.
conditions were, no matter how tough the
Yeah.
conditions were, you're like, well,
Yep, going back.
that sucked.
Yeah.
I'm alive.
I
And
guess
I'm
we'll
coming
try
back for
again.
more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're coming back next year.
Yeah.
Let's
And
do it
it
again.
becomes a multifaceted thing, right? Where you're besting, you're trying to best an animal, but I think 95% of the time you're trying to best yourself. You're trying to,
Yeah.
do better than you did the last time, or just do better, just to get in a little bit closer.
Mhm.
And it really becomes, as much as we make it about the animal, I think there's a lot of that. If you set back and you look at it, you're really besting yourself on every outing.
Every day, every single day. I mean, you'll wake up with no hours of sleep, tired, beat, cold, wet, hungry. You're like,
Ready.
well,
Ready.
Yeah, dude. Just
Yeah.
like, well, send it. Like,
Yeah.
what I'm here. I came here to accomplish, my mission or reach my goal or whatever. Like nothing's going to stop me from that. And I think that's an important aspect to take away when we're coming off the mountain is no matter what the adversity was on the mountain, the fact that you woke up and just kept on plugging and kept on climbing, like
Yep.
we got to figure out a way. And maybe not the three of us here, but probably the three of us here as well. But like the veteran and first responder community, we got to figure out a way to take that tenacity that we put on the mountain or in combat or a lethal encounter or, a tough fight on the side of the street. We got to take that tenacity, that the balls, so for lack of a better term, and apply it to every single day life.
Yep.
Because there's
Yep.
so many lessons, man.
I think if you're doing that, if you're out there and your eyes are open to that, you can't help but apply it. And that's what I was saying earlier when we opened this thing up, that it makes me better. Every time I come off the mountain, I'm better. Right. And you got to have your eyes open to it. Look at this shit. Right. Like I don't care about the beauty of it. Let me see if you can see this. See this picture? This is like 16 days in.
Hurting.
Boogers in my nose, hurting. We just got dumped on. And
Was that last year?
Yeah. And it's just like, bring it. Like, come on, I don't care. But that's it. Like, I'd rather 10 of those pictures that just break me. You know what I mean? And to know that I got out the back end. Shit, last year when my wife flew in, I brought her home, drove her home 18 hours, right? Waited a day. I drove back. I was like, going back. I'm not going out like this.
No, I got to go back.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Like I went back, dude, I got out of the Jeep and I mean, you're talking 18 hours one way.
Dude.
I got out of the Jeep and I was like, whoa, I drove all night, dude. I got the mountain, got to my spot at 5 and I got out of the Jeep and I was just literally swaying from side to side from
like
the
motion
exhaustion.
sickness
type
shit.
Oh, it was like I was on a boat for a week and a half.
Ugh.
And I was like, okay, I got it. I think I slept for 3 hours. I set my alarm. I was like, no more than 3 hours. Set my alarm, woke up, still felt it and went back out. I was like, I'll die on this motherfucker before I
quit.
Towel. Yeah,
Yep.
I got season left, and as long as there's season left and I can be there, oh shit.
then we're going.
Yeah,
full throttle.
My buddies, we have, that's one of our jokes, but you're gonna die on a mountain today.
Well, there's worse places to die.
Well, you know what I mean? But there's, as we laugh about it, but I think a lot of us believe that shit. You know what I mean? Like, we know what it does to us. Put the hunting aside, right? We know what it does to us. And if it means me going out there and breaking myself off to where I can't see straight, to know that I'm going to come out the back end of that with a different outlook on everything, guess what?
I'm in
Yeah.
all
I'm
day.
Going down on the mountain today, whether that's literally or figuratively, right? Something is dying that doesn't need to come back, and it's staying out there. And that shit will do it to you every single time if you allow it. Now, qualify that, right? Because you can't go out there and you can't be half-assed about the pursuit, right? There's a lot of, and I'm just being real, there's a lot of shit talking that goes on about how deep and how hard we go, right? That you're not going to gain anything by playing those games, right? If you're out there and you are really trying to get after, you are searching for something else. And there's guys that don't give a shit about that. I'm going out to kill something, put it in the freezer, by all means. That's my experience. Like, I'm going out there and I'm gonna give it my all, period.
End of story.
That's it.
I mean, why would you go out, again, semantics, right? But why would you go out there and not be willing to give it all?
I think a lot of us are searching for that.
And I think, so talking about going steep and deep and, pushing 16 miles in and things like that, like, let's scale that back a little bit, man. Like, your 16 miles or my 16 miles are completely different, right? Like, Nate's 16 miles are different. We're not even, you don't even have to go that far as long as you're just pushing, I think. You know what I mean? Like, if you were looking for that next step and you're pushing to be better than you were yesterday, then you're right on the money, whether that's 2 miles, 4 miles, or fucking 74 miles.
Yeah. I mean, shit, you could do a 4 mile loop in a day. You do that shit for 10 days. You know what I mean? Do that shit for 10 days. Yeah. You tell me to go in 16 miles. Matter of fact, my buddy, he hits me, that was 2019. He was like, hey man, I got a spot for you if you're interested in this unit, blah, 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 blah. It's just 12 miles back to these bulls. And he sends me a picture. And I said, 12 miles?
12 miles?
I'm going solo 12 miles. Do you realize what it's going to take to get that bull out?
And that's where the work starts.
Yeah, not me. I'm not going to, don't even send me the pin drop, bro, because I'm not going to bullshit myself or you.
I ain't going, dude.
12 miles one way just to get in? Nah, that's not my gig. And there's guys that shit is nothing to them. Yeah, that Jared does it. Jeff Moran's a psycho.
Beast mode.
Yeah, not even beast mode. That's a psycho, bro. Like, that dude go 17 miles on foot before the horses. 17 miles. Dude.
Why?
Jeff.
But that's the thing.
Blow that shit out, man.
but that's his thing.
That's where he finds it. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with a guy that is in the pursuit of something like that is
can't even put it in words, man.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. And the fortitude, not just the mental fortitude, but the testicular fortitude, bro. God damn. Oh, I'm quitting.
Like,
so want to see me not hunt, right? Tell me I got to go 12 miles just to get to the animal.
Wait a minute, what? You want to do what now?
Yeah. Oh man.
Fuck, man, that's a whole nother beast right there. But
yes, sir.
Yeah, that guy. Man, I remember when he came on your show a while back, and I started following him ever since that show. And like, Jesus Christ, like, dude just puts it in.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just, I mean, that's where he goes to find it. That's where he goes, and it's a beautiful thing, man. That a guy knows where he has to go find that thing in himself, or to leave that thing in himself on the mountain and come back without it or come back with it. Dude, that's a beautiful thing.
Yes, it is.
If you look at it in terms of that, and then you ask anybody about hunting, if you take everything else away from it and you just talk about that aspect of it, dude, there's your reason right there.
Bingo. I mean, how are you going to argue with that?
Can't.
You can't.
How can you? You know what I mean? Look at what you guys do, right? When you take vets out, when you take first responders out, right, that are suffering with their demons, and it's the same thing, right? Yeah, the camaraderie is there, but they're taking something out there, and man, thank God for you guys that are doing it. Some of that shit's left on the mountain. You know what I mean?
I can speak from personal on that. Like, just going out with the guys that we hunted with last year, every time, baggage out, no baggage coming back. Left it out there. You know what I mean? Whether it was our elk hunt in Utah, sheep hunt with Nate, another elk hunt out in Colorado, like, it was just taking something in that didn't need to be there anymore and putting in work and sucking and just grinding on some of those days. Like, good God. But like, you just come back different. Like
every time.
lighter. Like way lighter.
Yep.
It's weird, man. Like if somebody listened to this and they're like, these guys are fucking insane. Like, no.
It sounds like some
Well,
hippie
yeah.
shit.
Well, yeah,
right?
but
no.
I mean, it's like brown, green, and coyote tie-dye type shit, right?
Oh, shit, right?
But it's legitimate.
It's
like,
legit.
Yeah, I mean, you literally are going out there and either leaving or taking. But every time you come off, man, there's no words for it.
And I would challenge any hunter or non-hunter to go do it. Right? Like if they've never hunted out west, or if they've never hunted, period, like go into the mountain with the intention of success. And what that's success.
Yeah, I don't want. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I want to qualify what you're saying.
Yep.
I'm not saying go out on a backpack trip. I want you in the food chain.
Yep.
Right. If you want to experience that, you need to be in the food chain, so to speak.
Right.
Right. Either it's eat or be eaten type shit. I think that when you put yourself in that circle, that's where the change happens.
Absolutely. And just go in there with that goal of success, whether that's a successful harvest or you're a non-hunter going out for the first time and you're like, I've never climbed over 12,000 feet. Go over 12,000. Do it smart. Don't be stupid.
Yeah, don't pull me.
Acclimate.
Yeah.
Acclimatize, or what was the big word?
Acclimatize. Yeah.
Yeah,
Either
acclimatize.
way. It goes either way. That's some rough shit.
Dude, that was a great episode, by the way. I listened to it.
Thank you.
And I was like, man, there's some meat and potatoes here.
What did you think about the Hafe thing? Well, the greatest thing about that ride is when I was talking to Doc there, he just, oh yeah, farts, and he starts laughing.
Like, oh, okay, you're a kid too.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're gonna talk about farts on a podcast.
That's the greatest thing ever, right? Let's holler about some farts here. But dude, you know what? I ain't kidding you, man. That beaver shoot, you guys saw me.
Dude, you were jacked up.
Dude, I was smoked, man. And the lack of sleep, I know I wasn't well hydrated, that fast of a climb. I was hauling ass up that mountain from Beaver. It was the middle of the night when I got
that's
there.
when Yep.
And
straight up.
Ooh, dude. That was I've never had that before. And everything I could do to get off the fucking mountain.
You looked like a hangover, only 37 times worse.
Oh, I felt like it. That was miserable, dude.
I was like, this is what? You ain't hungover, are you? No. Like, oh shit, you fucked up.
Yeah, it was bad. Joe had some prescription meds for migraine, and it was like the slightest help. Ever so slight.
Well, I know
I was pulling back on targets, and I would look through the peat, man, and I was like, where the hell's the target? And
no
I have
shit.
To pull the bow down and like look, oh, there it is, and I put it back up, and I'm like, okay, I think that's the crease. It was nuts, man.
Did you see like I don't know the medical term for it, obviously, but like if you're about to pass out or go unconscious or whatever like that, the black kind of just starts to.
I got
it. The tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Of all the Mountain Archery Fest courses that we could have done that weekend, we did fucking Crit Tech.
Oh, of course you did.
And dude, it was 5 miles of hell. I mean, it was like, okay, we drop down, we go over. Man, it hit me. And there was a point where I told Keith and Sil, I was like, I got to sit down, boys. Like, I think I'm going to pass out.
No shit.
And yeah, and I was like woozing and stuff. And I put my hand against the tree and I just kind of slid down to the log and sat down.
Damn, man.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. And you feel like this crazy, like this crazy ass cranial pressure. Like I don't even know how to explain that headache. It was unbelievable, man. Felt
like the worst headache of all time.
Yeah. It felt like my head was going to fucking pop.
No, like it's getting crushed in.
Yeah. Yeah.
All over.
Yeah. It was nuts.
I've had nothing that severe, but in Alaska, I did a climb. We did a 3-day, 2-night through hike from a little tiny town called Girdwood up to Eagle River.
Girdwood has great ice cream.
Girdwood does have good ice cream, so
it
just
does.
whatever.
It's at the gas
Um,
station.
But I remember climbing that first day, and we went alpine like way. I don't remember what altitude we were at. Like I didn't give a shit at that point, right? Like I just throw weight on the back and go. And I remember that first night. It was the first weekend in July, and we didn't pack any fucking rain gear, which was stupid. And so what does it do?
Dumps.
Snows, dude. It started snowing and raining. It was terrible. And but yeah, I never anything to the point where I was in your position, but that weird just pulsating headache
Yeah.
was just fucking terrible.
Yep.
And luckily that was the toughest climb of that entire hike. That first day, you could go the other way, Eagle River to Girdwood, and your descent's going to be shit. But we figured let's tackle the first big climb on the first day, and then it's kind of like a gradual descent into Girdwood the rest of the way. But man, luckily when we started to come down, felt a pop in the ears a little bit, and instant just
It's gone. Yep.
that was
Yep.
magic.
Yeah.
For-
I remember when I came down off of Beaver, 7,500. I remember my ears going like that. And I
Yeah,
looked over and there's a 7,500 sign. And the headache was probably 70% gone. And by the time I hit the gas station there in Beaver, no headache, man. It was like,
that's insane.
it was nuts.
For
And then
anybody who's curious, I'm going to give you a plug real quick. Hold on. So it's episode 248 on Western Contours if you want to learn kind of about what Guy's talking about and altitude sickness and things like that, because shit's
It's
crazy.
no joke.
it's a trip. I mean, and there's areas of it where I had no idea, you know, we exercise, we do all this rucking, we do all this running, we do all this lifting, has no bearing on whether or not you're going to be affected by high altitude.
Yep.
Zero bearing at all.
I had no idea of the elevations to kind of spend that first day,
Yeah.
and that completely changed up how I'm how I'm going after our elk hunt this year with Second Chance. Like
Mhm.
I planned on doing what you did, going straight up so I could get as many days behind the glass prior to our hunter coming into state as I could to give him the best opportunity on a bull. But now I'm gonna have to take a step back and
Don't
get
worry.
that acclimatization.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring my game cart just in case I need to drag him off. Because I ain't going to drag. I'll just throw him on the back and just push him down.
There you go. Yeah, that 7,000 to 8,000
Mhm.
range, they say you just spend the night there and it decreases your chances by 50%.
Which
Which is pretty
I'll take it.
freaking huge. Heck yeah.
I'll take it,
Heck yeah.
especially after seeing your ass.
Well, everybody
On the
was
mountain.
like, man, are you okay? Like
Yeah,
I was left
dude.
and people were calling me and texting me, hey, are you all right? Are you all right? And I'm like, yeah, I just had to get out of altitude.
That's
I knew that's
crazy.
what it was. I
Right.
just had to get out. Dude, I hardly slept Saturday and a Sunday. And then I woke up, it was like 4 a.m., 4:30, and as fast, and all I had was my tarp and my hammock hanging. And as fast as I could throw that shit in the back seat of the truck, I was down the mountain.
Nate's thinking about going hammock this year.
Oh,
Yep.
bro. Yeah, we talked
Yeah, we
about
talked
it.
about
Oh,
it.
did you?
Talked
Okay.
about it, yeah.
Yeah, you're not in all the conversations. Get out here.
Yeah, that's
Nobody. Fine.
that's been my system, man, for a couple, 3 more years now. Actually, it's been longer than that, I think. But I've really got to the point where I've adopted it, and even like base camp, dude, I'm in
Yeah.
a hammock.
No shit.
So I have a hammock in my pack, and then I bought another one. I
Of
just
course
have
you did.
2 of them, right? Well, the reason I do that is I've learned, right? Because if I let the elk dictate the scenario, so
That's fair.
we always plan to base camp if we need to, but we always have 2 to 3 days of provisions in the pack. We always plan to be out there as long as we need to, within reason, right?
And
And
spike
we
out
have
if
to come
needed.
back, yeah. And what happened was is I would have to unload my pack and load my pack back up, and I go, you know what? I'll just get on Amazon,
That ain't
find another
efficient.
hammock, and just have doubles of some stuff.
That ain't bad.
And for what you can get a hammock for, that's going to work. You're talking like $119. It's the Amazon brand, right? But you can get a bug net, a tarp, a rain tarp, and a hammock and straps for $119 on Amazon.
That ain't bad.
And it's not, I wouldn't pack that in. I wouldn't rely on it totally. There are the higher end brands. It's a little bit better build, but it's not really changing shit.
How does that do? Have you ran it in later, like a later season, or?
I've had it out in 115 degrees, 100 degrees at midnight, and I'm in it. And then last year, 28 degrees, literally getting snowed on in the hammock.
What bag are you running?
The Outdoors Vital synthetic fill. And the reason I went with that one is because it tamales my hammock. I didn't want to underquilt. I felt like it was limited, and this thing will go sleeping bag, or I can go open toe box. It opens to fit on the hammock. And it's full enclosure on the hammock,
dude,
which is freaking awesome. And then you're really not suffering. I mean, what does a tent do? It just keeps some of the elements off of you. There's no additional heat in the tent. And then you're on the ground, and unless you got a hell of a pad, you're losing heat, right? The ground is just sucking your heat out of you. Dude, if it's cold and you take that pad, it doesn't even have to be an insulated pad, and you put it on the bottom of that hammock,
good to go,
dude. And then if you get and that's what I meant to tell you, Nate, is make sure that you get a hammock that has some freeboard, right? If you get a hammock and there's only it's coming up to here, it kind of lacks, right? You lose a little of that warmth. But if you get I hate to even say it because they don't support hunters, but like S.C.O has one, right? And theirs has a bit more. I could actually, and I'm a wide motherfucker, is I can pull the freeboard up over me. So not only do I have my bag on me, plus I have the pad for insulation. Now I can take that and pull that up over me. It doesn't stay closed, but there's enough to where it doesn't move.
It doesn't let everything go out.
Yeah.
No shit.
And you put a tarp over you. Dude,
good to go.
Straight. Well, you saw the setup that I had at the beaver shoot, right?
Yeah, driving up and down.
Yeah, I just have that. Mountain Ambush has that tarp.
That's what I got.
Dude, it's a 10 by 10. And
I got it in Mountain Hunter box.
Yeah, there you go. It's $69, dude. It's a 10 by 10 tarp. I've been running that thing. I think I've had it like 2.5 or 3 years, and I beat the shit out of it. I've used it on the ground. I mean, I've used it for everything. Dude, that thing is solid.
I busted mine out in on our Utah hunt. We were working, and all of a sudden it's the mountains. So what's going to happen? Rainstorm comes in. So what do? I just set up the tarp, and man, yeah, roomy enough for all four of us.
Yeah. And then
we were close, but it worked. It kept us out of the elements.
What's cool about it too is like if I could put over my hammock, right, and I can go like A-frame sort of, or I can go kind of lean to, just have one side, favoring the other. And then if it's super windy and there's a lot of beetle kill or shit falling, and I want to get out of that stuff, and there's nowhere to hang my hammock, I can go on the ground with it. And do I've figured out 5 different configurations with a 10 by 10 tarp that I can have basically a teepee setup and be super comfortable. And even have it fully enclosed if I wanted it. So that $69. Yeah, you can't
beat that.
No, not $69
for the packability of it, the weight, the price point. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's money.
Easy.
Yep. Easy. But yeah, I love that hammock, man. It's that's money. And you can, dude, you can hang it off of rocks and crap.
No shit.
Yeah, you get a long enough strap. That's the only thing. Climate is made in China. Right. But climate supports hunters. And when you start looking at the hammocks that are available, and especially at price point, I want to support US manufacturers, right? And products here. It's just so fucking hard with certain things, man. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But like climate, if you get the double on the climate, but I don't like their straps because they're not long enough. But the S.C.O straps, they give you an extra probably 18 inches, just shy of 2 feet on their straps. So if you got a couple boulders, man,
good to go
around a boulder and you're good to go.
That might be worth exploring a little bit, huh?
Dude, we'll have to experiment and see. We'll have to take photographic evidence of our failures.
Yeah, they're
of our failures.
Dude, I already know what's going to happen.
I'm not going to set mine up right.
And all you need, for your ridge line, if you're worried about weather, is about 12 foot of paracord, And
That's
just,
it.
and I don't even tie the paracord tree to tree. I just tie it on my strap. So it's right over the hammock. And then typically I'll carry 6 of the aluminum stakes. But even 4 of them works, and just stake that sucker out. Dude, it's money. It's
Comfy.
money. It is, dude. You snore and fart all night long.
Snoring part.
All my love. Got it. Write that down.
Write that down.
You know
Write
you're
that-
sleeping good.
You know, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, man. So moving on to the portion of the episode that we call weekly wisdom, right? And
That concludes this episode with Guy with Western Contours.
no, picking your brain.
Nope, you don't get out of it that easy, man.
No, picking your brain. Give us your weekly wisdom. What's something that we can take forward, whether it's a new hunter, somebody that wants to get into hunting, somebody that's in a like our space, the veterans and first responders. Give them some weekly wisdom. It can be hunting, it can be life, it can be business, it can be whatever you want it to be.
It's more important now than ever to understand the man across from you, whether that man is in opposition of you, or if that man is kind of straddling the fence with your stance or frame of mind, or whether they're in line. You got to understand the person that is looking you in the eye. If that person is looking you in the eye, it's worth understanding them before moving on or moving into opposition with them, right? And unfortunately we see it now, and Nate kind of hit on it earlier. We see it now more than ever, where I can't have, or you can't have, a different opinion than me without me absolutely hating you, right? And I think that we have to get away from that, right? We have to get away from that, and that's where we're seeing all these crazy ass divides.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care where you're at, if it's hunting, if it's business, if it's personal, whatever it is understand that person, take a step back, right? Don't just value your opinion of it or where your mindset is at that in that moment, right? Understand that they are coming from a different place, or they're coming from the same place, whatever it is, but you got to understand the person across from you. And if you don't, none of us stand a chance to get anywhere, right? We're going to sink deeper and deeper into this crazy ass hole that we're in. And we don't have to agree, right? I hate saying agree to disagree, but we don't have to agree. But if we get back to the point where we're appreciating and respecting someone else's opinion, albeit different than ours, we're just in a better place in general. So hopefully that was some wisdom dropped.
Absolutely.
I would drop my mic, but it's on a boom.
Yeah, don't do that. Mine too. Nate, what you got, man?
All right. Let's say you're a Midwest hunter, or you're only a Western hunter, something like that, right? If you want to fully appreciate what everybody else is doing, pick an animal, pick a hunt, research, challenge yourself, try something new.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to truly fall into and fall in love with if you hunt only the same thing all the time. Try and find something different. Like we've talked about going sheep hunting. It's gonna kick the shit out of us, I'm sure. But it's something that I think is beneficial to learn something new. And if you don't hunt and you want to, start to research and challenge yourself to find a new avenue to go with. That's you'll better yourself by doing it.
And if you have any questions about hunting, reach out to any one of us on this show, and we'll be more than happy to
We'll
guide
point you
through.
all in Guy's direction.
Absolutely.
That's it. And you know what? I'll never turn it away.
No,
No,
I don't
dude,
care what it is.
absolutely
I'll never
not.
turn it away.
I mean, that's how we grow. That's how we grow our community. That's how we grow our passion and gain some more grassroots support.
So Logan, You don't get out of this one either.
Ah.
Since 2/3 of us have gone, both the Lances have gone. It's your turn.
The Lancelots. Dude, it's August 16th. And
all day.
we're sitting here. We're sitting here in the United States, man. We're lucky sons of bitches, for lack of a better term. And we're recording this episode as Kabul continues to fall and the situation in Afghanistan just continues to unravel. So I just want to talk to. I'm not an Iraq guy. I am an Afghanistan guy only. So, and I guess this could go for OIF dudes too, man. So, to our OEF and OIF brethren, like, y'all, your feelings of anger are validated. I'm angry as shit, quite frankly. Your questions of, was it worth it? Man, I hear it. I understand it, and it makes sense to be experiencing these thoughts and questions. So you're not alone in that. But know this. At the end of the day, man, we fought morally, we fought lethally, and we fought effectively when it came down to it. Moreover, we fought evil with fucking compassion for the innocent Afghanis that we came into contact with, the innocent Iraqis that we came into contact with. Many of those folks are still trying to fucking get to freedom because of what's happening. And we gave that to them for fucking 20 years. Whether you believe in what we were doing there or not, like, we provided those people with a better life for 2 decades. So turn off fucking social media. Stop watching the freaking planes fly away, the bodies fall. Call a buddy. Get the boys back together. Have a beer, or just whatever your thing is. Raise one for the fallen that didn't make it home. But we can't dwell on the failures of politicians, like, flat out. Like, we won every major engagement that we faced. Politicians lost this one. But we got to look forward to our next objective. And that's the war here at home. And that's the war with wounds that are visible and both invisible. Now more than ever, like we were talking about, guys, like, we got to come together as a community, a tribe, and a family to support one another and never give up on each other. Because we wouldn't have given up on each other in a fight, right? Like, what's the number one rule? Never leave a fallen. We can't do that now. We didn't do it then, so why should we start? Keep an eye on each other. Never give up on each other, and keep moving forward. That's what I got.
And on another note, right? We talked a lot about hunting and said reach out, with hunting. And though I'm not a veteran, right, Logan, Nate, you guys know where my heart is when it comes to that. And if anybody listening to this has an issue, and just because I'm not a veteran doesn't mean I'm not with my issues or not fucked up in some way, shape, or form. If anybody that's listening is at a point where you need some help, man, reach out. I'm here. Period. Like, I'll never question it. I'll never pass judgment. You ever need anything, please reach out. And if it means field time and I can help, please reach out.
Absolutely, man. Hey, guy, we appreciate, or I'm sorry, Lance.
Lance, did it right.
That's a lot.
Thanks
That's
for
Lance a little.
Yep.
We Lance a lot less when we're not together.
There you go. Dude, thanks for hopping on with us tonight.
Absolutely, boys.
I know you got no pants on. I know it's hot, so appreciate
pants,
the time.
Lance.
And I appreciate
Absolutely, anytime.
the wisdom and the guidance that you've not only given me, but generations of hunters coming up.
I hope so. I just noticed that it shit said Lance on my
Bro, it's been there the whole time.
I just noticed it right now.
I changed that before we even started recording.
That's funny, man. I just noticed it. No, I appreciate what you guys do for our first responders and vets. It definitely is noticed from my chair, man. And I can't say enough about what you guys are doing. And I know it's just the beginning, but I appreciate the hell out of it. Appreciate you guys.
Cheers, boys. Thanks.
Yep.
All right, gents.
Have a good one. Thanks for tuning in to Real Talk Mondays. Until next time, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit 5 stars on whatever platform you're listening on. Make sure you check us out on Instagram over at Second Chance Outdoors. And until next Monday, we'll see you on the mountain.